I've got to do this.
You.
It's me.
My mic is broken.
Your mic is broken. How did this happen? And how did
don't
we
know.
just figure that out?
Hello. You can hear me.
Right when the show started.
Then why is this thing dead? This thing
We can
here
hear
tells
you.
me that my mic is not.
Oh,
broke.
yeah, I can hear you.
You can hear me.
Yeah.
I can hear me. No, I
Yeah.
can't hear me.
Okay, well, I can hear you. And
Is it because I'm talking so loud that you can
no,
hear me?
I can hear you.
No, I can hear you, and I'm not there, and I can hear you.
Okay, great.
You're,
So I don't-
you're not so loud to San Diego.
I don't have to do it.
You don't have to do it.
I don't have to do it. You better
It's
do
back.
it because nobody's going to
It's
know what in the world is happening.
It just woke
Yeah.
up. Okay.
We're blind without you, Brian.
I don't know what happened. I looked down. I was looking at the screen, and then peripherally, I saw that my mic
But
module.
the important thing is, who are you and what are
hi.
we doing?
Hi, my name is Brian Perez. This is Pastor. Can we just start the music again? Just hit it. Hit it. Hit it. Hit it. Hit it. Let's just 3, 2, 1. Hello. Welcome to Pastor's Perspective. Everything's fine. No problems whatsoever. I'm Brian Perez. We are here live, I think, on this Tuesday, the 13th of... The 13th. That's what it is. It's Tuesday the 13th. Friday the 13th, so 2025. It's Tuesday the 13th. So we're good. We're all good. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Call us. I think the phone lines work. We'll find out. 888-564-6173. And we've got Brian Broderson and Phil Metzger here answering the phones. Brian is the pastor emeritus of Calvary Chapel, Costa Mesa. He also heads up echoesofmercy.com. And he teaches on Sunday nights at Calvary Chapel, Costa Mesa, because that is restarting this week.
This Sunday, yes,
Yep.
indeed. We are diving into the great epistle of Paul to the Romans, and super excited about that. Yeah,
Yay.
yeah, 6:30 Sunday night at Calvary Chapel, Costa Mesa.
Yep. And Phil Metzger, he's the pastor of Calvary San Diego. What's going on, Phil? Dr.
Hey,
Phil.
guys.
Dr. Phil Metzger. Yes.
That's right. Yeah, good to be with you guys. And on the second start over of the show, I loved it. It was
Yes.
great both times, guys. I enjoyed it.
I like the second one more than the first one.
You know, Phil, for those that are not watching on YouTube, Phil is just looking so distinguished. He's got, the professor glasses. He's got, the beard, the silver hair, just the aura of wisdom on him.
And the books behind him.
The books, yes. He's read every word of every one of those books, undoubtedly.
Just in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, in 2 languages, guys.
Yes.
Come on now. Thank you for saying silver hair. If you're not watching, it's just white. It's super white. It's just gone. It's holding on, but it's just white hair everywhere.
When I was your age, my hair was dark, very, very dark. And so you did the premature silver thing.
I did.
But it looks good.
I did.
It looks good. It fits with your doctoral identity.
My identity.
I'd say. All right, give us a call. We want to talk to you guys at 888-564-6173. You can also send us your questions online, but we prefer to talk to you. We really do. So call in to 888-564-6173.
Not to talk about myself.
Oh, wait. What did he just do? What did Phil just do?
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's why you got to watch on Facebook and YouTube. I always say there's no need to watch on Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram because we don't show graphics or animation or anything like that. But Phil just did that.
Yeah, he just did it.
Yep.
He just promoting
His team,
Yeah.
the Niners.
Yeah, the Niners, man, they pulled it off, but it wasn't easy.
What'd you say, Brian?
They pulled it off. They beat the Eagles. That was a repeat of the Super Bowl, but a
That's right.
reversal.
We took down the Super Bowl champs. Listen, there's producers in my ears telling me I have to cheer on the Rams right now, and
Well, that would
and
be
I refuse
Deloy.
to do that. I refuse to do that, my friends.
Hey, it could come down to the NFC, the battle for the title could come down between those guys. Man, the poor Chargers just got brutalized by. I mean, the Patriots. It wasn't a high scoring game, but what I think Herbert was sacked like 7 or 8 times. I mean, it was it was painful to watch. Yeah.
And we had
Yeah.
Mike Chaddock here yesterday. He was wearing his Chicago Bears jersey. Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Why?
That's cute. That's cute.
Cute. But the Rams pulling off that win, that was crazy too, because it was like, they've got a good record, and Stafford is like the MVP or whatever of the year. But man, they just keep dropping the ball, so to speak, at times. But they came back and pulled it off, and I was like, wow, that was good that they did that. But I'm kind of a 49ers fan now too. So I'm glad the 49ers won. I certainly didn't want the Eagles to win.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. We totally agree on that.
Yeah, but the Seahawks have been pretty. They've been like a bronze wall. I don't know.
Yeah. I just have to be a fan and say, yay, team. But we'll see.
All right. Okay. Well, nobody would ever guess that we're actually kind of sports fans here, but
No, not really.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised that you guys watch every week or mostly every week.
well, the playoffs. You just kind of get sucked into the playoff world.
Yeah.
Is what happens. It happens with basketball. It's the same thing.
This is true.
Yeah. But look at Mike with his bear.
Yes, I just pulled up the video from yesterday's show on YouTube, and there he is. And his jersey, too.
I bet you Char was really impressed with that because he's such a sports fan.
Yes, yes. Yes, indeed. All right, 888-564-6173 is the number to call, and we're going to go right to the phones, beginning with Ann in Reading, who's watching us on YouTube. Hi there, Ann. Thanks for calling 888-564-6173.
Well, thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, how can we help you today?
The question is, if a practicing Christian marries a practicing Jew, is that considered unequally yoked?
Is that your situation, Ann?
No,
Okay.
it's my sister's situation.
Ah, okay.
Well, I mean, the idea of being, well, first of all, let me say this: the terminology to be unequally yoked comes from Paul's second letter to the Corinthians. The context is not marriage. Paul is actually warning them about being influenced by false teachers, being unequally yoked with them. But in principle, I mean, obviously you can apply it. To be yoked with somebody means to be joined together with them. So, when you find yourself married, you can't get much more intimately joined to a person than in marriage. And so if a person isn't a believer in Jesus, regardless of their whatever other religious commitment they might have, they would then, of course, technically speaking, yes, they would be unequally yoked because they're married to a person who isn't a believer in Jesus. And, it doesn't mean that, it's a sin that's going to keep them out of the kingdom or anything like that. It just means that it's going to be a difficulty and a challenge for them in their life experience. That's fairly common.
And is that the situation of Jewish people, that they don't believe in Jesus?
Yeah, Jewish people who don't believe in Jesus believe in it's hard for us to think in these terms, but they really actually do believe in a false religion, because even the Judaism of today is not the Judaism of what we have in the Old Testament. So you think about the Old Testament for a moment. You think about the Judaism of the Old Testament. You have the primary feature that's missing is a sacrificial system. You have a sacrificial system. You have a priesthood. You have a tabernacle or a temple. And all of this was integral to the Jewish religion. Well, the temple was destroyed 2,000 years ago. And what replaced it was what you might call rabbinic Judaism, which is it's a replacement for biblical Judaism. So the Judaism of today, although it has connections to biblical Judaism, it is also radically disconnected on several levels.
Phil, any thoughts from you?
No, I think it's a great answer.
And what do you think?
I appreciate the answer. You know, my sister has asked for discernment, and it's like I'm praying for discernment. I don't know that much about, I don't know any Jewish people. And so I really do not know their belief.
Is this a recent marriage, or has she been married for some time? Or
No, they haven't gotten married yet.
oh, they haven't gotten married yet. Okay.
And so it's like, okay, I'm going to get wisdom from
Yes.
those rowdy pastors today on Pastor.
Well, maybe this will be helpful. And if you go online to calvarychapel.com, a few weeks ago, I posted an article called Hanukkah. I think the title was Hanukkah 2,000 years ago. And it was in relation to the terrorist attack that occurred in Sydney, at the time
yes.
of Hanukkah. But basically what it is it's an appeal to Jewish people to put their faith in the Messiah. So that's what I'm doing primarily through the article. But as I'm making my way through that, you can see some of the very distinct differences between Judaism and biblical Christianity.
That will be great.
And you might even, if you think it's good, then you might consider passing it on to her.
Oh, I absolutely will.
Yeah,
I
great.
absolutely will. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for
Brian,
calling.
this isn't an article. It's like a sermon. I mean, this is like, and it says right here up on top where it shows how long it'll take you to read this.
25 minutes.
25 minutes. Wow. This is very in-depth.
It actually is more of a booklet. And,
Okay.
And, I thought of condensing it, but I just thought just going to throw the whole thing out there.
No, that's good. So again, you can find that at calvarychapel.com. Just do a search for Hanukkah. That's how I found it. And the article was released on December 19th. It's called Hanukkah 2,000 Years Ago. Find that at calvarychapel.com. Thank you, Ann, for calling in today.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
All right. God bless. 888-564-6173 is our number. Let's talk to Ernest in Covina, listening on FM 107.9 K-Wave. Hey, Ernest, what's up?
How you guys doing today?
Not bad so far. The pastors are rowdy as usual, but, trying
that's okay.
to keep them in line here.
So I called yesterday, and I had to hang up because I'm at work. I called on my break. My break was over with. But here's my question. And I'm gonna put 3 questions in one, and I'm very confident that you guys will answer with ease.
Well, we have Dr. Phil here, so we know for sure that...
Oh, well, Brian Broderson is good, too.
Oh, yeah, of course he is.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's right.
yes.
He is. He's pretty good.
Yeah. So here's the question. It's controversial about the authorship of the book of James. So do you guys agree that the brother of Jesus or half-brother of Jesus is the author of James? And also, the audience that James is writing to is the 12 tribes that are scattered abroad, not to a specific church. So if he's writing to 12 tribes that are scattered and not a specific church, how is he writing to them? Because to my understanding, they were fighting over positions and status and so forth like that. So if they were fighting over positions and status, and that's true, that only happens in the church. So do you kind of understand? So
Okay, Phil?
do you understand my question?
Yeah. That's good. Yeah. And Dr. Phil knows the answer to that.
This is, you know what? I'm getting rid of these books behind me. Okay, I'm just getting rid of them because it's
See,
ridiculous.
you thought getting your doctorate would be this thing like, man, look at this. And you're just getting mocked for it all the time.
Just a total abuse.
Just put the 49ers logo back up there and people will just think you're just some guy.
I'll get abuse no matter what on that, though. Yeah. Okay. So let's run through yours. Number one, yes, I believe in the authorship that it is exactly who you said, half brother of Jesus, the person named James. Is there controversy in that? There always is, but that only depends on where your idea of scholarship comes from. So if in like kind of more like conservative or orthodox evangelical scholarship that I follow, no, it's not a real controversy about who's the author there. In terms of who's he writing to, yeah, he tells us at the very beginning, right, that he's writing to the 12 tribes, but that are scattered among the nations. So this is metaphorical. James is writing to believers who, I think, two different groups of people, those that have been scattered by persecution, and then he has a particular care for Jewish Christians. So the fact that they're scattered didn't mean that they're not connected to church. Remember, the whole church was basically a scattered group of people meeting in catacombs, meeting in homes, meeting in wherever they could. So James fully expected that this letter was going to be read by Christians within kind of church construct, and hoping that it would get out to all believers. But the 12 tribes are referring to persecuted or Christians that have been scattered around the Roman Empire.
Ernest, does this answer your question?
Yes, it does, and thank you. Do you agree that they were arguing over positions and status?
Brian?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think that the context would definitely lead us to that conclusion. And like Phil said, and by the way, Phil, that was a perfect answer. I couldn't have done any better. So I commend you for that. But like Phil said, they're scattered doesn't mean that they're not part of local churches. James is in the group of letters in the New Testament known as the general epistles. And general meaning they're written sort of just to a broad group of Christians who would be parts of different churches in different locations, as opposed to specifically designated letters to, say, the church in Corinth or to the church in Galatia or the church in Colossae or something like that.
Phil, any other thoughts?
No. Nope,
right.
that was great.
Ernest, thank you for your phone call today here on Pastor's Perspective. Hope we didn't take too much of your break away from you and that you could still enjoy some cookies or whatever you might be eating for a snack today. All right, 888. Speaking of snacks, what are you eating, Pastor Brian?
Brian, what do you mean speaking of snacks? When were we speaking of snacks?
I just spoke about snacks.
Oh, you did? Okay. I missed it because I was eating my snack.
Yeah, he was eating. I have sunflowers, guys.
Sunflowers.
All right.
I have peanuts, and I'm following in the footsteps of my father-in-law.
Yes.
But he did cashews.
Cashews, that's
But
right.
the thing I'm making sure I do not do, which he did, is he would chuck a whole handful into his mouth before you would ask him a question.
Yes.
So he would actually chew and answer at the same time. I'm trying to avoid that.
If I see your mouth full, I will go to Phil. Of course, if Phil's mouth is full, then I don't know what we'll do. 888-564-6173. That's the number to call us today. And who did I say we were going to get tonight? Oh, Tom. Tom in Claremont watching us on YouTube. Hello. Welcome to the program.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hi,
Hello.
Tom.
Hey, Brian, Brian Broderson, I had a question for you
Yes.
about something you and your wife did probably many years ago, where you went to talk to somebody about marriage, Christian marriage, and unbeknownst to you, you guys were being recorded.
Yes.
So
That did happen.
You guys really kind of got into it.
Wait a minute. The way you answer it makes it sound like...
Yeah, so I'm wondering if there's any way I can see that or view that anywhere or listen to it.
Yeah. It's actually a DVD. Did they still do DVDs, or are we living in the DVD age, or have we passed?
I guess the real question is, does Tom have access to a DVD player, or would he be able to watch a DVD if he purchased one?
Yeah, it's called Marriage.
I have one.
Okay,
Oh, good.
yeah. It's called Marriage Essentials, and it was kind of loosely based on a book that we were writing at the time that did finally come out. but yeah, we were just having fun and having a conversation, and lo and behold, somebody was recording, and it ended up being a DVD, which we didn't realize, which is probably better because we weren't self-conscious about being recorded at the time. So it was quite fun.
Great news.
Yeah, and a lot of people have really enjoyed it, and they've really enjoyed a lot of the spontaneous humor in it. So, the Lord has used it in some fun ways over the years.
Yeah, well, I was really, inspired to call and ask about it because last Friday, just the two of you, when you get together, all these decades of knowledge and everything you've been through and the whole lineage, it's just, there's really nothing like it. So I'm glad it's out there. Marriage Essentials, thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Appreciate that.
So I found a copy on eBay for $3.99.
$399.
$399. Yes, no, $3.99. Or yes, 71 Mexican pesos. Yes, that's on there too.
It's I think the Chapel Store still has it.
Yeah, they probably do. Chapel Store of Calvary Chapel, Costa Mesa. I found it on the Calvary Distribution website too.
Okay, yeah.
But I don't know if that's anybody can purchase, or is that just for the bookstores or
and
whatever,
it might be just to think of it. Echoes of Mercy ought to have that but we'll see. But yeah, distribution is or Chapel Store.
Yes. Perfect. You can call the Chapel Store first to find out if they've got it in stock at 714-540-2941. Or I can just call out like I did that one time and find out if, let's see, how does this work? What did I say the number was? I hope I'm dialing it. I just said it and now I can't remember what I said. 714-540-2941. 2941. All right.
You're pranking the Chapel Store?
Pranking them. I did it a few weeks ago, and I'm doing it again.
Chapel Store. Please wait while we connect you to the next available agent.
Oh,
okay. I got the right number. Yes. Oh, there's that great hold music. We love that.
Thank you for calling the Chapel Store. How can I help you?
Hey, it's Brian Perez from K-Wave and Pastor's Perspective. I'm here with Pastor Brian Broderson and Pastor Phil Metzger. Who's this?
This is Sheila.
Hi, Sheila. So we just have a quick question. Do you guys have the Marriage Essentials DVD in stock there? Brian and Cheryl's Marriage Essentials.
Ooh, let me check for you. Just a moment.
Okay. Can you put us back on hold so we can hear that groovy music?
You got it.
Awesome.
This is really happening right now.
This is really happening. Why not, right?
This is a real moment.
Hey, I know this song. It's from the, we used to play this years ago. Great song. It's from the Monuments CD, isn't it?
Oh, is it? Okay.
I think, isn't it? Remember this song? It's on the K-Wave Spotify playlist, too, if you guys want to go.
Yeah, that is a good
Look
song.
at that. It is.
That was Chad Celaya, I think, did that one.
Thank you so much for holding. We do have one in the store.
One. Well, Tom is on his way from Claremont. Save it for him. Well, I don't know if Tom's going to.
And that's $8.50.
No, don't say that.
We're just kidding. He's not on his way, but you ought to restock because after this program,
Oh,
you're
my
going to be
goodness. Yes.
inundated
Yes.
with requests.
We've got millions of people listening right now. Well, potentially, because we have such a broad audience here in Southern California. So definitely restock. Thank you, Sheila.
Put it in the cart. You got it. Have a great day, you guys.
All right. Bye-bye. That was Sheila at the Chapel Store of Calvary Chapel, Costa Mesa. Put on the spot. 714-540-2941. They're on the campus of Calvary Chapel, Costa Mesa. I can see it from here, kind of. Those trees are in the way over there. But otherwise, I could see it. All right. Good stuff. 888-564-6173. Jose and Rialto, welcome to Pastor's Perspective. Speaking of marriage, welcome.
Hi, thank you so much. It's an honor and a pleasure to hear all of you pastors. I just wanted to say may God bless you all and your families, and so grateful for all the work that all of you do for all of us, and glory to God.
Thank you, Jose. That's sweet.
You're welcome. Thank you. My question was, I've been trying to. I've asked my wife if she would like to go with me to marriage counseling, but her answer was no, that she just didn't feel like she wasn't the problem. And so what scripture can you suggest to me to share with her? Because I want to fight for my marriage. yeah, I want to do everything that I can, but obviously I can't force her to go to marriage counseling. It's her decision. And I was just confused. I don't know what else.
Okay. Phil, what do you say to Jose?
Yeah, Jose, I mean, I hope this isn't a disappointment when I say I'm a little hesitant to just like shout out verses on this one in terms of like, what's a verse that I could use? You know, there are verses and, you know, the Proverbs talk about how it's like foolish of us it's foolish who thinks that their own way is right, but the wise listen to others. But I really want to not recommend you just throw like a Bible verse at her in terms of, not that you were going to, but I would do this. Maybe I would handle this take a different approach to this. The approach of like, this counseling isn't about me thinking that you're the problem or that I'm the problem, but in a marriage, the Bible, here's a verse for you. The Bible is clear. All have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. And so we're both we're both bringing ourselves into this. And, you know, I always like to encourage married couples that like, you're going to fight in your marriage. You should definitely fight for your marriage. And so I think if you want to kind of approach this, take that humble approach and say, listen, I'm not blaming or saying you're the fault. I'm saying we're both coming into this and we need help. We need support. And that might be a better approach than just simply like, here's a Bible verse to prove why she should go. That might be one of the reasons why she doesn't want to go is, if I could be bold, is that she just feels like, you know, she's going to get, you know, just this stuff thrown at her. And I think, Jose, you'd be better off to just say, we both need some help and some support. Let's get it together.
So, Jose, just a quick question. Are you going through counseling on your own?
No.
Okay, because that's a lot of times people will say, well, if we can't do marriage counseling, forget about it. But you can still do counseling for yourself, just individually.
And Jose,
Realize that.
here's another question, just out of curiosity. Like,
Yes.
so are you guys? Is your wife a believer? Number one.
Yes.
Okay. And so, are you guys going through a rough patch in your marriage? Are you having a hard time?
Yeah, we just seem to argue too much about simple things.
And how long have you guys been married?
Almost 10 years.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, I keep asking all these questions, but just trying to get a little deeper here. I mean, are you guys like thinking the marriage isn't working out? Are you talking about separating, or has the word divorce come up or anything like that?
No, we haven't talked about separating.
Okay.
Or divorce.
Okay. So I mean, I guess your marriage would, you might put it in a category of like, yeah, things are okay. Would that be a good way to describe it? Or you would say, well, it's basically good. Obviously, you're not going to say, oh man, it's great, because
you wouldn't be calling.
Yeah. So where's it at in that list?
I would say it's okay, but
okay.
I just want guidance on understanding how to communicate better.
Okay.
That way we don't argue so much.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Good. And do you go to church together?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Have you? Now, when you talk about counseling, are you thinking like we're going to go see the pastor of the church or one of the pastors at the church? Is that what you're thinking?
Yes, I that's what I was thinking of.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all good. But yet, we're still back to the same problem. She doesn't really want to do that, right? And like Phil, I think what Phil said is really wise, because I think, you know, she might already feel like, well, I'm just going to be told that I need to submit and get in line and, you know, all of that. So we're going to take a break and we'll come back because I want to recommend something.
Very good. Plus, I wonder if Jose's wife is thinking, well, if we're going to go to counseling with our pastor, I don't think anybody in our church should, know what's going on with us. So maybe that's part of the issue as well. So outside counseling might be a good suggestion for you, but we'll continue talking to you, Jose, when we come back from the break here on Pastor's Perspective at 888-564-6173 with Brian Broderson and Phil Metzger answering your questions. 888-564-6173. We want to talk to you, so call in. If you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram, you've got the number right there on the bottom of your screen, 888-564-6173. We're back on Pastor's Perspective. 888-564-6173 is our number. I'm Brian Perez here with Brian Broderson and Phil Metzger. And we've got some calls on hold right now, but you can still call in. We might be able to squeeze you all in by 4. No guarantees, of course. Right now we're speaking with Jose in Rialto, who called in with, wants to know if marriage counseling might be good for him and his wife. But Brian, what were you going to recommend?
Well, Jose, you've been on the radio probably listening when you were on hold. And we were just talking about the DVD, the Marriage Essentials, that Cheryl and I did this, and we were doing a conference in Europe years ago, and we were just having a conversation about marriage, and somebody happened to record it and then turn it into a DVD. And
Awesome.
And I've heard from lots and lots of people how it's helped them. And one of the aspects of it is we've got a lot of humor in it, just, because life is funny and marriage is
And Brian
funnier.
and Cheryl together are funny.
Sometimes. So anyway, maybe it would be like a break the ice kind of a thing, where you might say, hey, honey, can we sit down and watch this together? I heard it's really good and funny. And we do talk about communication in it as well. So I think it might be that maybe that would be a way to start.
Yeah.
I believe so, yes. How can I get that?
You can get that through, is it Calvary Distribution or through the Chapel Store? The Chapel Store has one left, but we have...
Everybody's going to be fighting over that. Yeah, there's got to be. And there's also the book, Growing Together as a Couple, 10 Biblical Essentials
the
for
DVD's
Building.
better.
Is it? Okay.
Better than the book, yeah.
Yeah, because we get to see you guys
it's
interact.
it's the live interaction.
Yeah.
It's fun.
How fun. So, again, it's called Marriage Essential. Why can't I find it now? Yeah, Marriage Essentials. You can try contacting Calvary Distribution. That's different from the Chapel Store of Calvary Chapel, Costa Mesa. The Calvary Distribution phone number is 1-800-444-7664. Again, 1-800-444-7664. The DVD is called Marriage Essentials. Or you can fight Tom for it over at the Chapel Store of Calvary Chapel, Costa Mesa. There's one copy left, and both of them are driving from the Inland Empire to try to get it before 5 o'clock. Meanwhile, somebody who lives across the street just walked over and got it. So anyway, I would call Calvary Distribution at the 1-800 number I just gave you. Or call the Chapel Store, too. Maybe they'll restock. I think they should after today's show. 714-540-2941 is their number. All right, and if you want to talk to Brian and Phil, 888-564-6173 is the number. Here is Jason, who's watching us on YouTube. Hi there, Jason in Huntington Beach. Welcome to Pastor's Perspective.
Hey, Brian Perez. Hey, Brian. Hey, Phil. How's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. I got a question for you guys.
Great.
Let's hear it.
All right, so I'm studying Colossians chapter 1, and when it gets to Colossians 1:15 through 20, talking about the supremacy of Christ,
yes,
I am trying to wrap my mind around Christ being the firstborn over all creation.
Yep.
And then more specifically in 18, where it says he's the beginning and he is the firstborn among the dead, so that in everything he might have supremacy. And then also, later on in 19, to reconcile to himself all things, whether things on earth or things in heaven, through making peace by the blood shed on the cross. Question is, what does firstborn among the dead, what does that mean? And then why did he need to reconcile all things to himself in heaven?
Phil, do you want to start?
Yeah, sure. I can start with firstborn. Yeah, firstborn is not a phrase that's meant to make you think. I know it sounds kind of like it should mean what it says, right? Firstborn. But it's actually a term used to describe like a status, a title, a position. So a lot of times in the Old Testament, you'll read that phrase, firstborn, and it won't always mean the firstborn in terms of order, but in terms of preeminence or status or privilege. So when Jesus is referred to in Colossians chapter 1, as you said, as the firstborn over creation, that's not that he is the firstborn, but firstborn meaning he has authority and privilege and status over all of creation. Okay, I hope that answers the first one on the firstborn. Did that help?
Yeah, that actually does help, because I do understand that it means the preeminent one reigning over all creation. So what you were saying, the authority, position, status, title, that's helpful in understanding. Now help me understand firstborn among the dead.
Brian.
Well, again, if you take the word to mean the, like both of you have said, the preeminent one. So from among the dead, Jesus is the first to rise. In this case, he's the first to rise chronologically, to rise from the dead, and the idea is to never die again. So Jesus is the firstborn, but then that would also make him the preeminent one over those who have risen from the dead. So he's the superior one who rose from the dead. Other people, Jesus raised people from the dead, but nobody was raised from the dead like Jesus was, never to die again. Mm-hmm. And so he has preeminence over all those.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay,
and then,
that makes sense right there.
What about the heavens?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, the question is to reconcile everything to himself, the fullness of God. Why would he need to reconcile everything to himself in heaven?
Yep. Dr. Phil knows the answer to that.
No, I don't. Okay. So, so let me just read the verse again. So for everybody's context, for it pleased the Father that in him, I'm reading in the New Living, that all the fullness should dwell, and by him to reconcile all things to himself, by him, whether things on earth or things in heaven, having made peace through the blood of his cross. I believe this is once again just an expression, a phrase, it's not meant to be literal, that you would think he's talking about the things on earth in a literal, like everything that touches the earth and then everything that doesn't touch the earth. But the idea that he has reconciled to himself by him all things. And this phrase, whether in heaven or on earth, is just this all-encompassing concept that Christ has made peace through the blood of the cross and reconciled all. And it's just this whether it's from A to B or A to Z, whatever our statements are, I don't believe it has any literalness that we need to read into. Brian, do you feel differently on that one?
No, I think that is generally the case. And I think, so many times we have, of course, the Old Testament is filled with the Lord is he's the Lord of heaven and earth. So basically, he's sovereign over all things. So whether things in heaven, whether things on earth, and remember, heaven has different meanings depending on the context. I mean, sometimes it just means the sky above us and the stars and so forth. So I think the universe is probably what's being referred to here, that everything that needed to be reconciled, in other words, this is what Phil has said, has been reconciled, whether things on earth or things in heaven. In other words, there's no place where the reconciliation hasn't reached.
Jason?
Yeah.
That help?
Yes. Thank you, guys. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Bringing peace to all things through the finished work on the cross.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the resurrection, him being the firstborn, because he is in the beginning, and then he's the firstborn among the dead, as in the first resurrected.
Yeah.
Amongst believers.
Yeah. Yeah. Amongst the preeminent one of the resurrection. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, that's very helpful. Thank you, guys.
All right. Well, Jason, it's great that you're meditating on Colossians chapter 1. I mean, it's such a great chapter. And those, they call it like a Christological passage. And you just think, yes, the richness. I like to read this along with Hebrews chapter 1, the first sort of 7 or 8 verses. It's the same kind of thing. That's just, wow, so profound.
Jason, thanks for your phone call today on Pastor's Perspective. 888-564-6173 is the number to call. We're going to go to Marty next, but this just in, we found the guy who duplicates DVDs and CDs for the Chapel Store and Calvary Distribution. His name is Dan, and he's going to run off more copies. Is that what I understand? Yes, he is. Okay, so I don't know how long it'll take, but hopefully soon we will have more in stock there at the Chapel Store of Calvary Chapel, Costa Mesa. Better alert Sheila there that we're going to get more copies in, and people are going to be lined up when the bookstore opens at 10 a.m. to get those DVDs.
I'm going to start a bootleg online right now of this because we gotta get this thing going.
I know, right? Marty and Placentia, welcome to Pastor's Perspective. Thanks for listening to us on the K-Wave app. What is your question for Brian and Phil today?
Sure thing. Well, first of all, thanks for taking my call. I really appreciate it. I enjoy listening to you guys, and also, the pastors that preach on K-Wave as I drive in the mornings. I've been around many decades and been to church most of my life. In fact, I say I was a drug baby. My mom drugged me to church, 2 or 3 times a week, and so I was raised in Southern Baptist Church back in Tennessee. But anyway, been to a lot of different, several different denominations over my life, go to non-denominational now. But I've never heard the pastor preach or I've been taught about dispensations. I listen, I also pay attention to several devotions each day. And one of the groups that I listen to and read really focuses on dispensations a lot, the different ages of the church or of the Bible or of Christianity or of our faith, and that we're in the church age now. And I have a very tenuous grasp on it, so please forgive me for not understanding it more. But I understand we're in the church age now, and that this dispensation, different dispensations allowed for different activities. For example, we don't stone our children for doing certain things anymore because we're in a different age, we're in a different dispensation. So first of all, I'd like your quick view on dispensations in general, how you feel about that or what you believe in that. And secondly, how would something like fasting fit in the current church age dispensation, or does that really belong to a prior dispensation and is really no longer, applicable or honored, or I don't know what the right word would be, but how does fasting fit into the current dispensation, if that makes sense?
Phil, fasting for today?
Yeah, I can hit on both, and then Brian can fix it all. That's our 1-2 punch.
Brian's the fixer.
Yeah. Okay, so when we talk about dispensations, this is like I don't want to get like nerdy quick, but like this is a part of what we would call like systematic theology. And that is like different systems of how to understand the work of God in the world. And there's different perspectives. Dispensationalism is one of those where you have people have kind of like theologians have looked at the history of the world from Scripture and said, okay, this was a dispensation, or an era is another way, or a stewardship, or a time period, and like the innocence time period, the covenant time period, and we've had these different kind of time periods. And today, yes, you're right. Sometimes they'll call it the church age, or the age of grace is another way of calling this dispensation. But I want to be very clear that that's just a way of like breaking up understanding as it relates to the work of God. There's another system of theology, maybe more in line with like a Reformed theology, that would just say, no, there's no different dispensations. God is working. Now, I'm only saying that to say, like, when we talk about dispensations, it doesn't mean we can't be so hardline on like, no, we're in the age of grace and that's what God's doing. So to answer your question about fasting, then, Jesus told us that we should participate in fasting. And that then means it's going to cross whatever system of theology anybody wants to create. We can have all of our little terms, but Jesus has called all of us to fasting as believers. So whether we call this the church age or whether we don't see dispensations at all believers are called to, like, that there's value and benefit still today to fasting. We talked about this with Sheridan a few days ago, I think, when he was on last week, actually. And the advantage or the importance of fasting is not me changing God's will by not eating, but by me giving something up so that God could be pouring into my life. And so I think it crosses all boundaries of dispensations or not.
Yeah, the Sheridan episode was a week ago, exactly 1 week ago, January 6th. It's available if you want to watch or listen to that on Facebook, YouTube, or Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. Brian?
I would just say, nothing to fix here, Phil. That was a great answer. But, I think in our... You said you kind of had a Southern Baptist background, I think, originally, and then Calvary Chapel. I think we focused on feasting rather than fasting, and the potluck and all the goodies that went along with that.
I once heard it referred to as Calorie Chapel.
Calorie Chapel,
yeah. Well, Pastor Chuck taught us, well, when it came to having a good appetite for ribs and potato salad and all that good stuff. But yeah, it is interesting though, Phil, that in like the difference between the critical text and the majority text of the New Testament, which is, basically the difference between like the King James, New King James, and the rest of the Bible translations. A lot of times where in the King James, you will have references to fasting. Like, for example, in the place, where the disciples are trying to cast out this demon from this boy and they can't do it. And they say to Jesus, why can't we do it? He says, because of your lack of faith. And then in the New King James, Jesus would say, but this one can only come out by prayer and fasting. But if you look at the NIV, fasting is excluded. And so what some scholars have thought, because the critical text does exclude fasting more often than it includes it, is that these were sort of things that were being imposed on the text from an ascetic worldview that was creeping in to the church. So that fasting, because in the ascetic worldview or any worldview that was sort of in any way influenced by Greek philosophy, there was always a negativism toward the body. So fasting was a way to, tame the body, so to speak. But like I said, some scholars felt like, that was Greek ideas creeping in. It shouldn't have said fasting. It should just be prayer. So, but then, of course, there are both critical and majority texts that do include fasting in the New Testament. So I think you're right. And Jesus, you're not going to get around Jesus in the Sermon on the Mount who says, when you fast, this is how to do it. So there's no way you're going to take the NIV and the NKJV both have that passage. So Jesus talked about fasting.
Right. Well, I guess if Jesus said it, then that's the way it is.
That's the way. Yeah, exactly. Does that help, Marty?
I realize the difference between the NIV and NASB. I use several different versions, for different studies.
Yeah.
But, that might be part of what was creeping into my question as well. So I appreciate you clearing that up for me. Thank you very much.
All right. You're welcome.
Thanks for calling us today on Pastor's Perspective. 888-564-6173. Thomas in Riverside. What did you want to say today?
Good afternoon, guys. Thank you so much for your show and for all your hard work.
You're welcome.
Just a quick comment regarding that Colossians chapter 1 question that was coming up. The way I've always envisioned it through study has been that through Adam and the first man, you have this act of sin, and that created all of the groaning of creation and all of the toiling and the work. And then Christ comes along, and with his perfect blood, which is what it says in 119 and 120, that he's made peace with everything through his blood. All creation is healed. All things are new. They're new creation in Christ.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. I like that.
Really good.
Just to help fill in the blank there on what that caller was calling about.
Yeah, good stuff. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks for calling in today. Here is Stanley in Huntington Beach. Welcome to the program, Stanley. Stanley, you there? Stanley, did you press mute on your phone? Stanley? Okay.
Stanley.
So we'll check on Stanley, see if he's still there. Wait, I might have heard something. Yeah. There he is. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. What's your question?
Okay, my question is...
Wait, quick question for you. Did you have mute on your phone?
No, I did not mute it on the phone. I was driving with on the phone. Can you hear me though now?
Yes, loud and clear.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was using a car speaker, but now I'm changing to the phone speaker.
Okay, just as long as you're safe.
Yeah. All I'm saying on the Genesis. By the way, thank you for taking my call.
Yeah.
And praise God, praise the Lord. First of all, on Genesis 3, on Genesis, the Lord told us God told us we have two trees. I mean, in the center is a good and evil, and the one's a tree of life. Under Genesis 3:22, the God says we are afraid that He's gonna be like us, so He's taking reach out to eat the tree of life. And if you see Genesis says if you're taking the good and evil, you're gonna die, surely die. But in this case, after done, he sinned it. Then the Lord said that He's gonna taking tree of life, then He's gonna live forever. So is what live forever? Is there any metaphor? And that the for live forever?
Yeah, is that a literal live forever, or is that a metaphor? What do you think, Phil?
I don't think there's a reason to take it metaphorically, in as much as, kind of on both sides of this, like, the Bible says if you eat of that, you're going to certainly die. And then, they ate of it and they didn't die, but that's because we just assumed that meant die immediately. But they did begin dying is how we understand Genesis. And so the idea that they would, the idea that they would then now in sin, having already eaten and are now dying, but then they were to eat of the fruit or the tree of the other tree, and they would live forever. We have no reason but to take it literally. I don't think we need to take that metaphorically. If they were literally dying, then we should, I think in this case, take it literally that they would live forever. And of course, ultimately, we do live forever, whether in sin, whether, unto righteousness or unto death, we do have an everlasting, we kind of continue on forever and ever and ever. So I don't think there's a reason to take that metaphorically.
What do you think, Brian?
I think Phil's right.
What would be wrong with, why would God say we don't want them to live forever? What would be wrong with that?
Well,
because
I mean,
we live forever now when you think about it.
Yeah, but think about it. What would it be like to live forever in a sinful, fallen state with no ability to ever be removed from it? So think of the world. Think of, I think the world. I think we could argue that the world is increasing in evil. Mm-hmm. So this would just continue to increase endlessly. I mean, you would end up in a situation where, you couldn't live, but you couldn't not live. And so, yeah, I think the idea is stretching forth their hand, eating the fruit, living forever in the fallen condition. That's what God is not allowing them to even risk.
Phil?
Right, because keep in mind, even now, we have access through Jesus to salvation. Yeah. They, at that moment, did not. So to eat of that tree and live forever in a fallen state, there was no chance of redemption, where we have the chance for redemption because of Christ.
Could it be seen, too, that death is almost like merciful in the sense that somebody could be like, depending on how old you think the earth is, if it's 10,000 years old or 10 million years old, there could be somebody who's 10 million years old, let's just say 10,000, 6,000 years old. And all the aches and pains and everything that go along with it, there'd never be relief for it.
Yeah, and beside that, I mean, let's just think of, we'll take the classic example, Adolf Hitler. Let's just think if he was just going on and on and on and on and on. Oh my gosh, how horrific that would be. And there's some people that we could think of today that would fall right into that category. So, yeah, I think there's a mercy. There is a mercy in death on a number of levels.
Yeah. What do you think, Stanley?
Yes, thank you. Because that's I like the Brian say, living in the falling, live forever. That makes sense because that's showing our God's merciful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great.
All right, Stanley, good to hear from you. Thanks for calling us today here on Pastor's Perspective.
When I saw Stanley's name, this is funny. It just came to my mind. When we lived in England, there's a I don't know how you would describe it. It's a children's book called Flat Stanley. Flat Stanley was like a a children's character that you would find him in these books and so forth. And he would always end up like a Where's Waldo thing. Stanley would sort of end up in these different places, Curious George or something like that.
Okay.
But he was flat Stanley. So if you got a Stanley, it was just like a flat piece of very crepe paper or something.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, so the kids, when they were young, they had to do a thing where the school project was they had to get different people to sign off on flat Stanley. So we were living in England at the time. We walked up to Buckingham Palace, and one of the guards was there. And we went to present it to him, and he just looked right away. He goes, "Is that flat Stanley?" Cheryl and I just about lost it.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, it is. And please sign right here.
Yeah. How fun. From football to flat Stanley, we talk about everything here on Pastor's Perspective. Thanks for joining us today. We'll be here again tomorrow between 3 and 4. I believe Ed Stetzer is going to be joining us for the first time in a long time.
Old Ed.
So call Ed. We'll be here from 3 to 4. God bless you guys. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Phil Metzger, thank you. Pastor Brian, thank you. We'll be back tomorrow on Pastor's Perspective.